Most real estate consumers don't understand how real estate commissions really work. In fact, many buyers think it's free to use a realtor. Sellers think their agents make too much, and even real estate agents themselves misrepresent their fees for service by referring to them as standard. Well, in today's video, I'm going to explain everything you need to know about real estate commissions as they pertain to my province of British Columbia. And all I ask in return is that you subscribe to this channel to grow this community of informed consumers. And also, if you learn anything at all here today, please go ahead and click the like button, because that is the best way you can help me get this information out to even more consumers who would benefit from being more informed. And as a thank you for both liking and subscribing, here's a picture of a baby fennec fox. I'd also like to let you know that this information in today's video is very general and not specific to your situation. However, if you do need specific help in my market of Surrey and the Fraser Valley, well, you can book a call with me right now using the link in the description below. And now on to the video all about British Columbia real estate commissions, including what is allowed, what isn't allowed, how they work, and, well, yeah, why they are how they are. Let's start off by setting a little bit of groundwork. Yes, real estate fees are a very highly volatile conversation. There are many different real estate business models, and yes, people believe that real estate agents make too much. But that conversation could be for another video or another channel. This video and channel, for that matter, are here to educate, and today we're going to stick to the facts. Starting off with how real estate fees can be charged. Generally speaking, there are two ways that real estate agents charge for their service. The first and most common is a percentage of the sale price of the home when the sale completes. The reason that this is the case is that, well, with every sale, there are risks and costs involved that can be directly correlated with the overall value of the property. For instance, if your real estate agent were to list a higher priced property for the same percentage as a lower priced property, they will end up with a much larger payday when the higher priced property sells. However, the higher priced property generally require more expensive marketing plans and higher levels of service. But on top of all of that, the liability on higher priced property sales is much greater on the agent. So this is why most often the business models that last in the marketplace are percentage-based brokerages. But there is another way that is sometimes common to pay for your real estate services, and that's called a flat fee. Yes, there are real estate agents and brokerages out there that will offer their services based on a previously agreed to fixed price that doesn't change no matter how much the property sells for. There's absolutely nothing wrong with offering or accepting a flat fee, as long as all the fees that are being collected for the real estate agent services are flowing through the brokerage. There is actually a third way that real estate fees could be collected, but currently I'm not aware of any brokerages that work in this manner. And that would be for you, the consumer, to pay a la carte. Yes, you could pay for your agent and their time by the hour and their services by the service. A business model like this could work similar to compensating your agent the same way that you would compensate your lawyer. However, this would then be charged to you whether or not your home actually sold. And that is likely why the commission-based models have stuck around the longest. Sellers are way happier to pay higher fees, but only if the home actually sells, and have not yet really expressed any interest in paying fractions of the cost for both their agent's time and different services provided that might result in the sale of a property for a cheaper cost. But there is one way real estate agents are not allowed to charge you, and we call that over and above. That's right. It's illegal for your real estate agent to receive their fee being what's left over once you meet your bottom line. But let me explain. If you wanted to sell your house for $500,000 and you couldn't say to your realtor,
"Look, all I want is 500 grand and you can have anything over that."
The reason for this is because, well, there's a really good chance your house could be worth 600 or 700 or even $1 million. And if it were, then your agent could make off with an absolutely absurdly high amount of profit in comparison to the actual sale price of the home. So now that we've established ways you can pay your agent or ways that your agent can charge you, let's talk about the realities of the market that I service and what you can expect. And the first red flag that you should look for from any real estate agent quoting you for your sale. That red flag is that if they say their fees are standard. Let me tell you right now, there are no such thing as standard fees in this industry. The brokerage itself that your agent works for, well, they may have a business model, and they may require that their agents follow that particular business model and work under their plan. But let me say again, there is no standard fee in Canadian real estate. So that means that yes, if you can find an agent that is silly enough to take on your sale and all of its hard work for as little as $1 flat fee, then great. But don't get your hopes up there because generally speaking, most brokerages will offer different percentage-based models. However, in my market and really most of the markets across British Columbia, well, we have what we refer to as a tiered commission structure. They have become prevalent in the industry in this province, and they are what you can most often expect. And this is where the history lesson kicks in. You see, in many parts of the country, real estate fees were often 4, 5, maybe even 6% of the overall sale price of the home. But here in BC, we used to have the highest real estate fees in all of North America at a whopping 7%. But that was way back when homes were under $100,000. And when house prices started cresting $100,000, markets that charged 5% across the board, well, they just kept charging 5%. Here in BC, when houses crested $100,000, there was so much pushback from homeowners towards the agents that the agents had to do something. And that something was to lower their fee. So it's at that time the most successful models kept charging 7%. But only on the first $100,000 of the sale price. And then at that time, most real estate agents said they would only charge an existing 2.5% on the balance of the sale price over $100,000, leading to the most common fee for service in BC, which remained until just recently at 7% on the first $100,000 and 2.5% on the balance of that sale price. But let's go back for a sec, because that 7% fee that your agent used to charge you back in, I don't know, the 70s was for both his or her service plus the service of the buyer's agent. So if your agent quotes you a fee, you have to ask, is that the whole fee, and whether or not it includes the fee for the cooperating brokerage. Cooperating brokerage is a fancy term for the buyer's agent, because back in the 7% days, the listing agent would often keep only 54% of that 7%. This means that your brokerage back then would have received 3.78%, and the remainder would be left over to compensate the buyer's agent. In this example, 3.22%. And this tradition actually carried on into the new tiered structure. So if you're following, 7% on the first 100,000 and 2.5% on the balance of the sale price, then had the listing agent keeping 3.78% on the first 100,000 and 1.35% on the balance, as 54% of the total. Confused yet? And then the buyer's agent would receive the other 46%, which would then be offered at 3.22% on the first 100,000 and 1.15% on the balance. Now in the Vancouver board area, for some reason, that number is often 3.25 and 1.156, or a variation thereof. And in the Chilliwack board at the time, the custom became 3.22 on the first 100,000, 1.15% on the balance, minus half of the real estate board fees for some reason. So now with BC moving to the tiered system, and I believe maybe Alberta does it too, we used to be the highest rates in all of North America. However, in other provinces, Ontario, and well, most of the continent for that matter, those areas still manage to charge between 4 and 6%. And if you're wondering, most of those areas have a 50-50 split instead of 54-46, leading to the most common fee in other areas being between 2 and probably 2.5% per agent in the transaction. But back in BC, this tiered 7.25 model is starting to morph. In fact, if you've watched many of the mainstream media's coverage lately of the Canadian real estate industry, you will see that their research shows that the average fee in BC has risen to 7% on the first 100,000 and 3% on the balance. The reason for this is actually quite simple, and that reason is competition. As competition gets greater, many top agents have to increase their level of service and the marketing tools they use in order to get the listings and also get the home sold. It's only actually been in the last 10 to maybe 15 years that good agents had to start hiring photographers, videographers, stagers, someone to measure the home and provide a floor plan, and often even cleaning services. All of these things come at a cost, and well, the cost gets passed on to you, the consumer, as the consumer's expectations of the level of service that they receive only rises. So yes, now as a result of competition, many agents offer better services than they ever did before, which is great, but unfortunately, that comes at a cost to you, the seller. And as a result, also, you, the buyer, because this fee is agreed to by the seller with their agent. However, the buyer is the one footing the entire bill. So yeah, trust me, the overall fee has been considered by the seller of the home, and well, that gets passed on to the buyer. So now what do you do with this information? Well, if you're a seller, make sure you ask your agent that you're interviewing what services they will provide. But most importantly, what their results of providing those services have done for others in the past. Because there is a big secret in this industry that really isn't a secret to agents at all. And that is that homeowners think that they will get the same result in regards to the sale price from any agent that they pick. So by that logic, the agent that works for the least amount of money is obviously the best for them. In reality, the right amount and style of marketing needs to be put in place in today's market. But also, if your agent can't back up their offer to you by showing you the results that they've achieved for others, then you might be picking an agent that sells your house for less. And if that amount is less than the difference in their fee, well, then it just costs you a whole bunch more money to work with a lower quality service provider. On top of that, the hardest thing to show your clients from a real estate agent's point of view is not only how much you know in the industry, but also how good you are at negotiations and all of the things that you have put in place to make sure that they don't get sued in the future. So unfortunately, many people end up with an agent that doesn't provide them with the best options, rather just the lowest rate. But buyers, you're not off the hook here either. Your agent will know exactly what they're getting paid from any purchase that you've made off of the MLS. So you too should have a conversation with your agent about what they get paid before you start looking at homes. And make them put that fee that they're willing to accept in writing with something called an exclusive buyer agency agreement. This will guarantee that you know exactly how much your agent is getting paid, and it will eliminate the guesswork of you not sure if you're seeing all the listings or if you're only seeing the listings which are paying your agent the best. And yes, as a quick side note, it is illegal for your agent to hide listings from you just because they pay less. But this does often happen in the industry just because both the agent and the buyer are not willing to sit down and discuss what that agent is getting paid. But getting back to coming to terms with your agent when you're listing your home for sale and where the industry is going or maybe should go, here's my thoughts. Personally, I think that the future of this business is offering sellers like you options. For example, my team offers a low, medium, and high fee structure because not all properties and sellers require the same amount of marketing. And if your home sale won't benefit from a higher level of marketing, why would I charge you more? And if your home needs more attention with all the marketing bells and whistles and full concierge service, that option should be available for you too. And that is why the Karrasch Real Properties team offers 3 different marketing packages at 3 different fees for service. We call these different structures our exposure package, our professional marketing package, and our smart marketing package. And if you would like to learn more about those and have a property to sell here in my market of Surrey and the Fraser Valley, go ahead and book a listing consultation with me right now down below in the description at a time that works best for you. Please subscribe, click the like button. Don't ever accept the answer that real estate fees are standard, and we'll see you in a couple of days.